Okay, excellent. So we live already. Hello, everyone. First of all, I will introduce you in Lithuanian, if you don't mind, a little bit. Okay, and then we'll speak in English. Is that okay?
Excellent. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So, labas vakaras visiems, kurie mus žiūri dabar, kurie mus žiūrės vėliau, kurie mus žiūrės ryte arba žiūri dabar. Šiandien aš transliuoju iš miško, iš miško. Ir jo, pagalvojau, kad visgi masteriai tai yra laukinis reikalas, ne? Toks laukinis. Ir jau geras oras, tai sakau, biškai patransliuosiu sėdėdamas miške. Tai jeigu turit kokių klausimų, būtinai rašykite ir pasikalbėsim. O šiandien kalbam su Patricio ir vienu iš mokytojų, NLP mokytojų, kuris dalyvaus masteriuose šiais metais. So I'm back in English. Hi.
Excellent.
I'm very, very sorry that we're late this time. So, well, as I said, life sometimes happens with all the technology and stuff. So anyway, this is gonna be the first time for you in Lithuania in Masters of Calm, and I'm really excited, to see how it's gonna go in Lithuania and how you're gonna like it, how you're gonna see this festival overall. But first of all, about you. How did you decide to become who you are at the moment, like today? How did you do it?
I think it has been like several steps over my life. Since I was like a small kid, I was very aware of my thoughts, emotions, everything. And yeah, for me, everything was strange. It was like, okay, what we are doing here, why people act as they act, and why I cannot change things inside myself. I was very aware, that there were some bad behaviors inside myself, bad feelings, and I couldn't really change. And then at some point of my life, I have a relative, a cousin that came with yoga, but not just asana, but all the philosophy and internal work of meditation and everything. And well, for me, was like a great formula, Okay, yes, with this I can work, it's very useful. And later on, I went into Buddhism, and it was more of the same, like deepening into yoga. And where I was having more or less a normal life, I was in university, I had a good job and everything. And then my small brother died, so then it was a big shock. And well, I decided that I have to have a bigger change in my life. So then I decided to study, NLP, different things. I went to live in Asia for 1 year and a half, and I had a deep transformation. Yeah, I think all these events, and also like the influence of my family was this cousin that he's a doctor, but also alternative doctor, another cousin that is a psychologist. So there was something in my family already, that bring me in this path.
Okay. How would you describe? What do you do? To the person who've never never been to conscious festivals, or just well, somebody from abroad, and how would you explain in a simple way, what do you do?
Yeah, I will say that what I do is to help people to be responsible of themselves, to be responsible, of their body, how their body works, how their emotions work, how their mind work, because many times we are taking responsibility outside. Okay, this happened to me, the other thing happened to me, but we are not aware, that at the end, it's our experience. It's us who create our experience. If we suffer or if we are unhappy, it's our responsibility, And no one teach us to do like that. You go to university, you go to whatever, but no one is teaching you how to deal with your machine. It's like we have a car and no one explain us how to drive or how to change the wheel or things like that, So I help people to understand better, like this vehicle that we have in this incarnation.
Okay. I really heard how you said that you help people to take responsibility for themselves. Could you give me an example of how do you help to take more responsibility on themselves for the people who come to you to learn something?
It come people from different backgrounds, Let's say now I have a client that she's a woman that has been abused in the past, for his father, and now she's in divorce, the second divorce. The two persons that she has been divorced, they have been alcoholic with drugs and cocaine and different things. And now her little child has been abused also from his father, So she got a pattern there, in his family and in herself. And also, she was not able to get her emotions into place, She was like outbursts of rage, and on the other hand, she was being abused, like physically abused from his partner, that she was not able to express it, So through this process, she started to recognize that she has been abused from his partner. She recognized the way that she was choosing its partners. She recognized this abuse from her father, that she had this deep down in the subconscious, So she started to realize, how her life was, and she started to take action. Now she's getting divorced from this partner. Now she's going to the police for her child, and he's making many decisions to start to work, because she has been dependent for most of her life, first from her parents and later on from her husband, And at the end, she was still like a child, She went from his father to this other father that were their partners, And she was behaving kind of child. There was something that was not healed inside. So she started to realize about that, and then she started to taking action and putting herself together. It will be take responsibility from my point of view.
That sounds beautiful. So a person started realizing that, well, nobody's gonna help if she's not gonna help
Mhm.
herself, and she's
Yes.
not gonna make an action. Well, who's gonna do it for her? So from
Yes.
victim to the one who's responsible to take responsibility for their own and for the child, and to take action and to change the partner which she is living at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, use like that, and not just that. She's taking responsibility outside, but she's also taking responsibility of her own emotions and thoughts.
Oh, right.
You know,
Okay. Well, that's
Starting
very,
to
very
get
good to know.
balance. She realized, okay, maybe I'm too much into there. Into these explosions. And this is not helping. My life. So she starts to regulate this. Also, sometimes she got the tendency to have obsessive thoughts. So now she realized about that. Okay, and then she's able to bring her mind to the present moment. And it's just a training. I mean,
Hmm.
get used to that. But the first thing is to recognize what is happening. Which one is the pattern, and not putting the pattern in the other. Okay, my husband, this, my father, whatever. Okay, they are doing what they are doing. They have their own problems, But which one is your problem? Why you are acting like that?
Hmm.
And many times it comes from past traumas. What we also do is to heal the past traumas. Like
Okay.
these emotional things normally comes because, okay, something happened in the past that we didn't integrate properly. you know Many times it's not big deals, but when we are child, many times we take like a big things what is not so big, and we misinterpret, and we keep it inside. So what we do is we go to the past, we open up, we heal it. So healing like the root, like what is happening now is healed by itself. It gets regulated. It's makes sense to you?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. I'm just wondering, like, what techniques? What is your magic? what techniques do you use to help people to heal the past and to
It's a mix of techniques. It's a big basis of NLP.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the end, NLP is a mix of other techniques. What NLP made is to study, different techniques, and creates its own. And you have NLP first generation, second generation, third generation, because NLP also start to look at itself and create new techniques looking at itself, like growing, This is a big background. I think it's the background from where I see life as well. Every time that I go to one place and I see someone, I start to analyze how he works, what he does, and which one is the pattern there, So I am picking up from many, many, many sources. I will say that familiar constellations is another big source, And then yoga is another big source. Buddhism is another big source. And regression, regression therapy is another big source. And yeah, mainly this.
If you would have 5 minutes, and in these 5 minutes you could teach people one thing, like you would have audience of all the world, and you would have 5 minutes, what would you give them? What an idea or maybe a little technique, what would you give them to learn in 5 minutes?
I would say that in 5 minutes, I will help them to listen to themselves.
Right. Yeah. Actually, this is where it all starts, when you start hearing yourself. Okay, so yeah, in 5 minutes, to listen to yourself and to think, do I want to hear myself, or am I still okay not hearing myself and stepping on the same problems each time, just with different faces?
Yeah. It's like that mostly. We change the scenario, The
Yeah,
film
yeah.
is the same, it's happening the same. But okay, we change people, we change, ambient.
Yeah, we change characters, but the problem is not solved. It's just always it's the same.
Yeah. And at
Okay.
the end, it's very related with the body, with the body sensations as well. We don't hear properly our body.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So this time you're gonna come first time into Lithuanian Festival Masters of Calm. What will you offer? What will you give to people? What's what they can learn if they approach you and they decide to come to learn something from you?
Okay. Well, we have prepared like 3 workshops. One is about the breathing. The breathing is like the link between the body and the mind. So when you start to listen your breath, you start to know how it works, how you can change it to go to one side or the other, then you can make big changes in your life, And not just that, you know when your emotions start to change. You observe that, okay, my breathing is changing, now I'm getting angry, or now I'm getting depressed, now my energy is going down, no, my energy is going too high. You start to know what is happening before it happens. So you have a time of reaction to reconduct, your energy and your emotions again through your breathing. It's very, very, very important tool of observation and also of regulating, body, mind, and emotions. So we are going to focus in one workshop into that using different techniques, mainly based on my experience on yoga and also using NLP for that. Yes. And very practical, for day-to-day life. Second workshop, it will be more about healing, like observing how trauma creates in your body, how we don't process the information. At the end, trauma is not process life, not process information. Something happened in our life, we didn't process properly. We create some how do you say, closed areas in our body, in our mind, in our emotions, so energy cannot flow. We start to develop like patterns that they are not useful. Maybe they were useful at this point to handle what happened at this time, but it's not for every day. It's like we are using something that we used like 20 years ago now in the present in a different situation that is not really helping. So we start to undo this. We are gonna go to our feelings or emotions, and try to heal these past traumas. Okay, to feel more release, and to be more in the present moment, not in what happened, like whatever time. And the third workshop will be around self-love. What means to really self-love yourself? Because there are many aspects of self-love, and many times we get confused in this, like, okay, you see an advertisement in TV, okay, you love yourself, like buying this car or doing this or doing that, but it's not really loving yourself in a deep aspect, okay? First the question is who I am, who I really am, I think this is the first question. And then from there, okay, you start to recognize who you are, and then you start to accept yourself fully, with the pros, if there are pros, and the cons, if there are cons, because these pros and cons is just coming from the mind. But at the end, we have to accept both, who we are, and from it comes to accept the other persons, So we are gonna work with this also in group, to make a group energy of loving ourselves and loving each other, and try to create kind of a egregor, like groupal energy of loving and nurturing, and from there also to expand to all the earth, universe, and whatever is there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very interesting question, about how what is self-love, sometimes I see people
Mm-hmm.
when they think about self-love, or they explore what is self-love.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they think, oh, I need to just to focus on myself, and just
Mm-hmm.
to be more
Mm-hmm.
ignorant and more
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
self-centered, and to care less
Yes, yes.
about others.
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think that the more you know yourself and the more you really love yourself, the more you really care about other people, But it's very easy, to get lost in the process because
Mhm.
we are I mean, most Western civilization is a self-centered civilization right now, So we have some misconceptions about that. Yeah. And I think it also comes to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? To self love yourself. It's not like, okay, I'm great, I can do this, I can do that, Okay, maybe I'm not so big, I cannot do so much things, I'm in many ways like a small child, Let's love this small child, that is inside myself, this vulnerable part that is sensitive, that has needs, that needs care, that needs love. And many times we don't get this from other persons, Many times we expect from the partner or whatever, but sometimes it's like a hole inside ourselves, So we receive love, 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 and it goes drained through there, It's nice to look at this hole and try to heal, Try to heal this deep wound that many of us we have. Because if there is no wound, we will be fully happy and self-love, But many times this wound, I don't know, is maybe one of the fathers that didn't treat us properly, and we believe that. And at the end, is this father that had the problem, not us. The problem was not really on us, but we believe that the problem was us, that we were not, I don't know, beautiful or not happy or not pleasing our parents. I don't know, whatever got their own imagination of what was the problem, So we have to do this, go to this route, heal it, and okay, recognize that I'm a person that what do you say in English? That is meant to be loved, There is nothing wrong with me, So I can be loved, Maybe there were some people that didn't love me, but not because the problem was on me. It's just they didn't know how to love because they had their own problems, you know. And from there it comes this love and compassion to other persons, you know. It's not like, okay, no, he was a bad person. Not at all, you know. He also got the same thing, probably from his father, or I don't know, whatever. They had a civil war, or they have some trauma in the past, you know. No one that is healthy, you know, will treat other people badly. If we treat other people badly, it's that we have some problem at some point, you know. It's not that we are bad people. No one is bad person, you know. We are like loving, caring, you know, in deep nature. We just have to come back there, you know. And I will say that my work is that, you know, to help people come back there.
Very nice. Mhm. Yes, you know, we have this pattern. Many people have that. Well, my parents didn't take care of me. They didn't love me. They didn't
Mhm.
give me enough attention. But it's so easy not to understand that they went through, as you said, they went through their own
Mhm.
stuff, their own problems, their
Yeah.
own uh, uh, their own things that we're not even aware of, because where we live and how we live is totally different how our parents live. So to
Mhm. Agree.
blame our parents is very simple, but how to learn to accept them as they are, and to think, yeah, that they really tried
Mhm.
their best. That's all they
Yeah.
could give, and they tried to give the best they could actually.
Sure, sure. I think I have realized through my work that the moment that you get responsible about yourself, you know, you realize how difficult it is to become responsible of everything, you know, and then you know how difficult it is, so you are much more compassionate with other people, you know. Okay, you know, I have this option, you know, someone is teaching me, and even though it's so difficult, I have to go through so much pain that is inside to recognize so many things. Oh my God, you know, my parents, you know, they were not able, they didn't have no one that helped them, you know. The situation in the country was so difficult, you know. The living was so difficult. Oh my God, you know, so compassionate, you know, they were so nice people. They tried to help me, you know, they do their best. So everything changed situation, you know. Normally we are like victims, you know. It's like, okay, you didn't give me, you know, give me more, you know. It's like that, you know. We are in a passive way, but when we become active, or active action of our life, everything changes, you know. And then we are much more, yes, compassionate towards other people. That's the point, you know. It's We are not much self-centered, just the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so people who will come and they will meet you and they will be able to touch a little bit of breathing techniques. As I understand,
Mhm.
it's going to be very practical and very simple.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
then at the end of the day, they will come up with how to learn to love myself, not thinking that I'm the center of the world,
Mhm.
and take
Mhm.
more
Yes,
responsibility of who they are and how they act and how they live.
yes, it's like that.
It's going
Yeah.
to be a really beautiful journey. Um, I'm really looking forward to meet you in person. It's
Mhm.
going to be
Cool.
really interesting. Each time when somebody comes first time, I'm really curious, you know, how they are, who they are,
Mhm.
and you'll be able to see, you know, how we live and how we live in this festival and how people are greeted, and the way we operate, you know, for the last 12
Yeah,
years.
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know. I met some people in India, you know, and I had so good vibe, you know, that okay, I get in love with them. So yeah, I'm really looking forward, you know, to meet all you all.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. And I have a little question. Would you
Yes.
have something very simple to give to people in video format or in written that they could use, they could try something at home before they come?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Sure,
Excellent.
sure.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so, so whoever is watching, just remember that we
Yeah.
heard the promise.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
so
sure.
be able
It's
to, yeah, to send it.
promise is promise.
Excellent. Okay. So thank you very much for your time, and really looking forward to meet you. And yeah, there's not much time left anyway until until the summer comes to Lithuania. It's blooming already, you know.
Yeah, it looks nice already. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you are
So
green,
thank
you
you.
know, like your background. You are in
Yeah,
green
background.
t-shirt.
Yeah, it's becoming green. Lithuania. It's we don't have that much time of green, and you know we have a joke that in the summertime we have only 12 weekends.
Uh-huh.
And out of 12 weekends, usually we get only 2 weekends with sunshine. So
Okay.
let's
Okay.
hope that these 2 weekends will be Massive Calm Festival.
Let's hope this. Yeah, cool.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you very soon. And thank you very much who watched us. And let's keep in touch until next time. We're
Yes.
gonna go live. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
cool. Take care. Goodbye.